Now that we've had a chance to play around with maps for a little bit, I want to figure out how we can take a map and iterate over all of the key value pairs inside of it. So let's first start off by doing a little bit of code cleanup. I'm going to take these two initial ways of declaring a map right here. We'll get rid of them. And then I'm going to uncomment all the code that we had previously put together for declaring this colors map. And I'm going to add on one more key value pair just to make things a little bit interesting. We'll say white is FFFFF. And then we'll clean up where we added this additional key value pair and then deleted it. Okay, that looks good. So what I want to do right now, I want to create a new function that accepts a map, iterates over the map, and prints out every key value pair inside of it. And so this will give us a pretty good sense not only of how to iterate over a collection of key value pairs, but it'll also give us a good sense of how to pass a map off to another function. So we'll take a little sneak preview on the code just to start off, and then we'll come back over to our code editor and do the actual implementation. Okay, so this is vaguely what it's going to look like. Now, when we're looking at this code right here, I want to stress that everything that we're going to see right here is going to be very similar to code that we've already seen around slices and iterating over slices already. So we're going to declare a function called printMap, and then we'll add in a single argument to it. We'll say that the argument will be given a name of C. Remember, kind of keeping in the theme of using very short variable names here. And then we'll annotate the type of the map that's coming in, or the type of that argument. And so we're going to pass in that colors map, so it is of type map with keys of type string and values of type string. Then inside of this print map function, we'll put down the code to actually iterate over the map itself. And so this is the part that probably looks very similar to the slice iteration syntax that we've seen several times now. So we'll place the for keyword, and then we'll put on two variables right here to receive each key and value through each step of the loop. Now I'm using the names here, C or color and hex. These really could be thought of as being like key and value, like so. So really key and value, I'm just using a little bit more descriptive name here of color and hex code. And then we use that range keyword again to tell Go that we are attempting to iterate over the map C. So then inside of the actual body of the for loop, we can then place some code that will be executed for every different key value pair. Okay, so now that we've got this little preview, let's flip back over to our code editor and put this together. So underneath our main function, we'll create a new function called printMap, like so. We'll start off by adding in the single argument that we expect this to be called with. So whatever map this gets called with, we're just going to call it C, short for colors in this case. And then we'll add in the type that we expect this map to be. So I expect it to be a map with keys of type string and values of type string. Then inside the function, we're going to set up our for loop to iterate over this map C. So we'll say for each color and hex code coming from the range of map C, run this code. Now remember that when we are assigning these variables or creating and assigning these variables color and hex right here, we are declaring and initializing and assigning them a value all in one step. And so we make sure that we use that : syntax. Then inside of here, we'll add a little bit of code to print out each color and hex code inside the map. So let's say format print line, hex code for the given color. And so color here is our key, is, and then we'll place down the value, which would be hex. Hex, like so. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Let's now go back up to our main function and make sure that we call printMap. So I'm going to replace the existing print line statement in here with printMap, and then we'll pass in our map C, like so. Okay, I'll save the file. Looks like I have one typo here. I did not place a comma after this last key value pair. So very much like structs, remember, we have to place a comma after every single property that we add in here. So I'll add in the comma, I'll save the file, and everything's looking pretty good now. Okay, we'll flip back over to our terminal. We'll run our program, and then we see a different print line statement for every key value pair inside of the map. So this is looking pretty good. Now, like I said just a moment ago, at this point, you're probably sitting there thinking, Stephen, how is this different from structs? Where would I use a struct versus a map? Well, let's take a quick break. We're going to come back to the next section, and then we'll just do a quick summary on maps and talk about why we might use a struct instead of a map, or vice versa. So quick break, and we'll answer that question in just a minute.